Hey guys, I'm making this video for some of the High Point Church leaders, particularly for Awana, is on my mind right now for a couple of reasons, but that I'll say in just a second. But here's a couple things I want you to know. This coming year, in 2011, in this Sunday, I'm going to lay out what is going to be sort of our strategic plan, our vision plan for the year. I'm not thinking out further than that right now because I really believe High Point Church is still in kind of a rebuilding phase. And so we're only going a year at a time right now. So this first year, there's two main focuses that I want to have before everybody's hearts and minds. The first is I want to spend the whole year in the gospel. I really want to settle into what is the gospel, how does it change us, how does it affect us, all that kind of thing. And the reason is that I believe that everything that could possibly commend a church comes from the gospel. I think that the kind of power of motivation to really live sacrificially, to have joy in what we do, to be neither legalistic nor libertine, to be people who obey Jesus but don't do it out of spite or even out of pragmatics. People who don't. We need to be people who obey Jesus because we want to, not because we think it's the best play for us, or because we have to, because it's somehow legalistically something we have to do or God will hurt us, but that we love Jesus. Jesus is amazing, and therefore we want to obey and love him. That kind of motivation can only come from a big God, a big gospel, a clear understanding of it. And I want to make sure that as a church, we are really grounded in that before we try to do anything, really, you know? And the second thing is, I think that as a church, we need to we need to look at the area of financial stewardship in a very specific way. We've been talking about giving for a while, and I think one of the things we need to do is draw back from asking people to give more and say, okay, we need to give at a certain level to pay our budget and to keep things going. But instead of saying, well, hey, let's try to pull off a whole bunch more on our budget, instead what I want to do is draw back and say, okay, this next year, I don't want you to give anything more to High Point Church. What I want to ask you to do is to prepare yourself to be generous, meaning to look at your lifestyle and to look at what debts we have. And I want to encourage High Point Church to pay off as much consumer debt as we possibly can, and to consider lowering some of our fixed expenses that we have fixed high. And it's that lifestyle that creates the impossibility of real generosity. So if I come forward and say, hey, let's all do another % this year. Let's all take some ground in terms of the financial health of what we're doing. I think it's just going to feel like a hard hammer, but I think if we say, listen, let's all of us prepare to not be broke. And then we can make a decision later if we want to give that money, if we want to save that money, whatever we want to do with the money we create. But let's as a people learn to live within our means. Let's as a people learn to not spend everything that we make. And then let's prepare ourselves to have the privilege of being generous rather than feel guilty because we know we should be more generous, but we can't be more generous because we're buying all this stuff that we don't need. Now, the way that I'm gonna make that challenge, and I'm gonna encourage as many people as I can at High Point Church to take the Dave Ramsey class called Financial Peace University. The reason why I have Awana Leaders in mind is because the first big class we want to do this is going to be on Wednesday nights. And so what that means is we're hoping to draw in a bunch of families that aren't involved in other things right now. And we're hoping that this will create an influx of kids to Awana. Now, where I'm coming from is, I'm assuming as an Awana leader, you're thinking, listen, the more kids, the better. I mean, the whole point I'm here is to teach kids the Bible, to teach them the gospel, to lead them to salvation. And if you can bring me kids that aren't taught the Bible, don't know the gospel, I mean, this is what I'm here for. So I'm assuming this is good news for you. If we do something that'll draw in parents and then therefore draw in kids on a Awana night, that's good. But at the same time, here's what I want to say. Thank you so much for your ministry there. It is so helpful and so meaningful to see kids learning Scripture and being not just cared for, but taught and ministered to during those times and other times where the other children ministries function at our church. Now, one of the things that we talked about in the adult education committee was that some people on Wednesday night might feel like, well, that's great, but now I don't get to play. I mean, you're saying, hey, let's all do this together as a church, but now I can't do it together with the church. here's what I have to say about that. One is there's 2 other churches offering the Dave Ramsey class at different times. So you could take it at the same time as this class is going to be, just at a different place. But in the pre-summer session of Adult Bible Fellowships, the ABFs, the 2nd hour Sunday morning, we're going to offer it again. So in just a few weeks, 8 or 10 weeks later, we'll start another class on Sunday morning that you could be a part of if you adjusted your schedule in that way. So we're going to offer 2 classes. One will be Wednesday night, but one will be Sunday morning. And you'll have a chance to be part of the Sunday morning one if you're a Wednesday nighter, or vice versa. And we did that for that reason. So I hope that's helpful. So I hope that you will embrace this wholeheartedly. I hope you'll help us get as many people in this class as possible, because for every person who gets into the Dave Ramsey class, it really makes a huge difference in their financial peace personally. Not just what they give, but not being broke, not being in unnecessary debt, being ready for when troubling things happen in their lives financially, and then having the ability to either have enough money to retire or have free time so that they can serve others, or that they have the ability to be generous rather than just feel guilty because they can't be generous because they've already spent all their money. So I hope this is helpful. Okay, bye.